Right, I found my right old fucking storybook here. This is, I think this might have been the first one I ever done. First book I ever did. Hell. Okay, I don't know how good these are. Or how crap they are, I should say. His New Caravan. And this is written fucking... I haven't got a date on this. Some stories contain violence, blood and small sexual references. Alright, his new caravan. Patch arrived at his friend's house. Mark answered the door. "Hey, right, geezer?" he said. "Yep, I'm great, mate. Is the caravan ready?" The two friends hitched the caravan to Patch's car and left for Kirby Beeden. Patch drove over the speed ramps a bit too quick and the caravan became unhooked. And after a few minutes, Patch said, "Where's the fucking caravan?" "Holy shit," Mark cried, and they saw a Mercedes smashed up by the caravan in the rear view mirror. Patch reversed up and they both jumped out. The old woman at the car's wheel was unconscious, but seemed perfectly fine. "Let's hitch up and fuck off," Mark said. "Good idea," Patch replied, and they did just that, and Patch drove a lot slower and they finally arrived at their destination. Patch's dad greeted them and they parked the caravan at a nice location on the garden. They hooked up the electric and made 2 coffees. Patch unloaded his car of all his possessions. "It's not bad," Patch's dad said about the caravan. He then went inside. Matt and Patch and Mark walked down to Woods End pub. "Pint of Guinness and a cider," Patch ordered. "We were fucking lucky with that old girl in the Merc," said Patch. "I know, it could have been very dodgy," Mark replied. They continued drinking for a few more hours and were pretty pissed by last orders, and they stumbled back to the caravan. "Fancy a coffee?" Patch asked. "Yeah, cheers. And we can watch that horror film," he said. They sat down and put the film on and began to watch the film whilst drinking their coffees. About 30 minutes into the film, Mark said, "Did you hear that?" "What?" Patch said. "I thought I heard a cat crying or something," he said. "So what? There's plenty of cats around here," Patch said. They carried on watching the film when suddenly a scratching sound came down the caravan's sunroof. They both looked up to see the disturbing face of the old woman from the fucking caravan car crash earlier. Little did they know the OAP had been killed earlier in the accident, and her unhappy ghost was back and not very happy. "Ah! Fucking hell! What's she doing here?" screamed Patch. The woman pulled off the plastic surround on the sunroof and began to squeeze through the tiny opening. Her body seemed to squeeze into a very unnatural shape, almost resembling a draft excluder. She entered head first, and a green-coloured drill oozed from her rotten teeth as she whined like an animal in a snare. Mark jumped up and picked up Patch's banjo, ready to hit the creature that hang upside down before him. "You can forget using that. You hit her with that. It cost me 120 quid, Patch shouted. Mark put the banjo down gently and picked up a mobile phone charger, swinging it around his head like a slingshot. He released it from his hand and it struck the old woman on the forehead, embedding itself with the prongs. "Ha ha ha ha! I feel electrified," shouted the hideous beast. Patch picked up a CD and lunged forwards and slid it horizontally across the ghost's throat, bringing down a gush of crimson blood onto the carpet. "It's going to take some getting out of the carpet," shouted Mark angrily. After about 30 seconds, the creature hung limp and lifeless, staring into space. "Can you kill a ghost?" Patch asked. "Well, it looks like we've done a good job of it," replied Mark. A knock on the door was then heard, and Patch opened it to his dad's angry expression. "What's all this bloody noise about? There's other caravans around here, you know." Mark was quick enough to pull the dividing curtain concealing this disgusting mess that they had created. "Oh, it's just a film we have got on. I'll turn it down, Dad," Patch promised. His dad nodded and left. They closed the door and pulled down the corpse, took it outside and buried it. They cleaned the caravan up and stared at each other in amazement at what had just happened. "That's not something you see every day," said Mark. Patch laughed and they continued to watch the film. That's a really short one, that is. That's fucking... See, that's... Well, that's a fucking short story for you.